What's up, everybody? This is Battlefield Joe 97 here. I am so sorry for the long delay regarding my thoughts during E3 2015. And the reason for that is a legit one, because one, I was focusing on my math test, and two, which I'm going to get a few seconds, is my graduation. This is my diploma. I'm officially out of high school, and I can be eligible for college. This gold little stamp right here, and it's really goddamn cool as all hell. So yeah, with everything out of the way, and plus being sick as all hell after eating so much food, and my brother having some cold, I really couldn't really do any of the E3 videos like I did in the past. So instead, I'm gonna be like giving out like a short review for each conference/presentation, and talk about games out of each conference/presentation and some things about it, for each. First, I was going to do Nintendo with their whole special Smash Bros. Presentation and Nintendo World Championships, but I want to get straight into the conference, like Bethesda. And the one thing that I really liked when they started out was like Doom 2016. This kind of reboot/sequel, but mostly a reimagining, remake, whatever the hell you want to put it. Doom 2016 looks to be like the Doom that I've always wanted in the modern day, instead of what Doom 3 was in the 2000s. I mean, not to say that Doom 3 was a bad game, it's just, it wasn't, like, it didn't have the soul of Doom. It was like some survival horror with, like, Doom's name and the characters in it. Which is not to say anything bad for the development team like id, but it just wasn't Doom. So I really am thankful for this new Doom to be like how the original was, but more bloody, more gore and stuff like that. And to all the people who are squeamish for that, get the hell out of here for that. Just put it out there. And the other thing that they showed off was Dishonored 2. And, I wasn't really much of a fan of the original Dishonored, even through playing it multiple times through an attempt, like in the PlayStation 3 and on the 360, and I just could never get into it. And I was kind of disappointed with it, because it wasn't like the spiritual successor to Thief, which ironically, the Thief that we got, which was like last year or 2 years ago, from what I remember, was like it took its inspiration from Dishonored, but then Dishonored took the inspiration from the old Thief games with a new twist out of it. So it's kind of like some inbreed fuckery, if you know what I mean. And funny enough, they leaked Dishonored 2 before the whole conference even happened, so that was kind of a funny thing in their own live stream, which. But the biggest thing that Bethesda announced, well, they didn't announce, it was already announced before it, but they told a lot of details, and that was Fallout 4. And my god, that looks exponentially beautiful. It's like they took the aspects of the Mass Effect games, of having like the fully voiced main protagonist, you choosing your dialogue and progressing through the story and the game. Kind of feel that way with Fallout 4 in a sense, and being able to have like so much customization on your armor, your weapons, and having this dog companion with you that he won't die, which thank God for that. But yeah, Bethesda's conference, they really didn't have that much surprises per se. There were like multiple games that we already know about or they announced before, but it wasn't in the case with Nintendo, where it wasn't like shit that we didn't really want to know, because you already told us this so many times, plus the fact that it really was interesting to know some of these details. Oh yeah, I forgot. Also, they announced Fallout Shelter for like iOS only as of right now. Android will be later in the future. And thoughts with Shelter from the times I'm trying to play it. If you have like an iPhone 4 or below the recommendation, like iPhone 5 through beyond, or iPad 2, you're really gonna have a horrible experience, like in my end. Like this shit like lags as all hell, and when it really loads to the beginning, it's like it's trying to load like the world in GTA 5. Like it's freaking crazy. So I hope to God I get like a new phone in the future and be able to play a clean, streamlined experience with Fallout Shelter, because it's really terrible, and I can never play that damn thing on my phone. Sucks, but that's it. And the iPad that I have is not compatible with it, so that'll be it. So yeah, Bethesda's, I would say, if I go for a 5-star, I say a 4 out of 5. A lot of things we already know about, with few surprises, but they did cater to like their fan base and a lot of stuff like that, so I give props to Bethesda for that. And also, Todd, when you say that it's going to work with Fallout 4, I'm calling on your bullshit. just like with the previous Fallout games. Don't even go for that kind of crap. So yeah, let's talk about Electronic Arts. Like they had like this samey kind of conference with some games that I'm kind of interested about. Mostly they talk about sports, but they did talk about some things that I did like with Mass Effect and Andromeda. If that's what you call it, yeah, Andromeda. And it's kind of like this next line of Mass Effect, like Mass Effect, the Next Generation, akin to like Star Trek. And I'm kind of hopeful for this one, even though Mass Effect 3 was kind of a little bit too shooty, too much of a shooter for my taste, and the story was, in the ending, yeah, if you look through my past videos, you would understand my thoughts out of that horrendous ending. And also, BioWare nowadays are just shitty, mediocre devs. That's all I can put. But, I'm hopeful for Mass Effect Andromeda, like on the PS4 and stuff like that. And what they also announced, which was kind of the highlight for me, for E3 in general, was like this Swedish indie developer going in stage and he's like shaking as all hell, and he has like the main character for this game that he created from his heart and soul, like Unraveled. Yeah, Unraveled. And it was like the cutest thing imaginable. Like, you never thought you would see a grown man going in stage, talking to the whole world, like in the live stream and through people in the press room. And really, this should be what E3 is all about. Like a developer who puts his heart and soul, his or her heart and soul, on stage, talking about their games and stuff like that. And it was kind of cute and charming, just like the game itself. It's kind of like this level I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Little Big Planet, but like this kind of scope. It has this kind of scope to it if you look through it. If you catch my drift. But I'm really looking forward to Unravel's re-releasing on PS4 sometime. Go buy. And what's also an announcement, which is kind of funny, they had like this heartwarming presentation when it came to the Swedish developer with Unravel. Then after that, they had like this big fucking presentation of like this dude in a zombie outfit to announce like Plants vs. Zombies 2, which that's E3 for you. Like, you have like this developer with this heartwarming kind of presentation, then having like this big bang kind of like shit. That's kind of the highlight for me if I'm going to be talking about E3 2015 for years to come. But yeah, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 is not like an Xbox exclusive like the original one, well, timed Xbox exclusive, and it will be released on Xbox One, PS4, and PC on the same day. And I'm really looking forward to it, because I really did like the original Garden Warfare on the PlayStation 4. When they gave it out for free, I believe. Some presentation I kind of forgot, but they did give it out along with Mirror's Edge on the PS3. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And they showed me Mirror's Edge, Calabas or whatever. And I'm kind of hoping for this one. It's not like a sequel, but more of a remake or a reimagining, which is kind of weird. It's a remake of a game from a new IP during, like, what its release date was in 2008 or 2009. I mean, you saw some bits of gameplay in that trailer, but I'm kind of hopeful for the storyline. So yeah, the one bit during EA's conference was Star Wars Battlefront, and it looks fantastic. But I'm weary with the whole thing. I mean, the DICE developers say that no, this isn't gonna be like Battlefield. This will be like the Battlefront experience that you all know and love. Then when they showed footage of that on EA and Sony's conference, I don't know if I'm the only one that thought of this, but it really does look like Battlefield with like the Star Wars IP aesthetics on it. And also being able to play as Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker is really much of a bonus. But I don't know, I'm really turned off with the whole thing regarding the whole EA's name on it and the season pass and the amount of content that is less compared to, what was it, Battlefront 2. So I don't know, I'll be waiting for a used or, just play through it in GameFly, because there's no way I'm buying something that has less content compared to the previous installment, and that season pass is a fucking overkill. That's just me. So yeah, EA's conference, if I were to, I'd say a 3.5 out of 5. Much better than what they had in their previous conferences, but nothing to really boast about, except for the one moment with Unraveled, because that was a cute moment. Cute little moment right there. Ubisoft's conference, I'll get this out of the way with Ubisoft's conference. I was a bit, it was cringeworthy to say the least. From this one moment I remember, what was it, Ashley Woods, going into like the audience and having this one dude who was cosplaying, what was it, the assassin in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and he was like, he was trying to do some kind of shit when it comes to dank memes, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And unironically, he became a fucking meme. That's the internet for you, or gamers in general nowadays. If it's supposed to be a meme, it's a fucking meme. But I'm getting away with myself. I just wanted to say that out of the open. The new South Park, The Fractured Butthole, which, you know, I gotta give Trey Parker and Matt Stone for the subtitle for this new South Park game, because now people in GameStop, workers, would have to say on the phone legitimately, it's like, hello, would you like to pre-order South Park, The Fractured Butthole? Some kind of shit like that. I gotta give props for that, but also, yeah, I'm excited for South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Yeah, I'm excited for the new South Park game. I hope the guy, Obsidian actually irons out the thing, because there were bugs that I experienced during the original on the PS3. So I hope to God they fix that, or at least Ubisoft is on their asses with it. Who am I kidding? This is Ubisoft we're talking about. They have fucking glitches in their games as well that is broken. Assassin's Creed. Unity. Just putting that out there. Yeah, after South Park, we then had like this new IP they showed off, For Honor, which really looks interesting with this whole medieval kind of route that they're having. So yeah, I hope the god actually becomes successful and not like dead compared to what Assassin's Creed is nowadays. And after that, they showcased like more info that I'm getting sick of Tom Clancy's The Division. They had a release date, which would be in March 8th of 2015, and also they announced a beta for Xbox One owners during late 2015 or early 2016. And I'm kind of hopeful for this one. I'm a little bit weary of the Ubisoft hype when it comes to games like Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Unity in the past. I mean, only Far Cry 4 was kind of good. I mean, not revolutionary or not like a big step compared to Far Cry 3 from the previous Far Cry installments, but yeah, I'm a little bit weird with Ubisoft with their whole bullshit. That's just me. And yeah, after that, they showcased more of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, which I hope they don't fuck this up like the other Tom Clancy game, what was that, Blacklist or whatever. And yeah, they showcased more of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I'm not really hyped for it. I mean, after the abomination that was Assassin's Creed Unity being so fucking bad, I'm not even hitting myself hope. Even my brother, who is an Assassin's Creed fan ever since the first game, like me, he's like done with Assassin's Creed. He's done. Like you put it in the ground, Ubisoft. You had like a freaking good game like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and then it went down with Unity. It's like bullshit. Anyhow, if I were to say something for Ubisoft's press conference, it would be a 3 out of 5. Not as better as, what was it, their previous conferences, but it's still a bit cringeworthy. That I will say. And then we're going to go into the console wait, we have another, I want to go ahead and just get the third-party conferences out of the way. Like, let's go with Square Enix. Square Enix, they showcased like their conference. Their conference was more about talking the games and actually showing the games. And what I mean by showing is like showing the gameplay and stuff like that, and just letting the trailer or gameplay trailer speak for itself. But they were just talking and talking and talking and talking. And they were like recycling trailers that were like from Sony's press conference, which I'm not going to say in the Square Enix thing because I want to talk about that in the PlayStation conference section of this video. So yeah, Just Cause 3, it looks damn fun. Looks to be even better in chaos, if that's a word, compared to Just Cause 2. And yeah, I'm really excited to play that on the PlayStation 4. And the new Nier game, which is going to be developed by Platinum Games, looks to be really interesting. I mean, no gameplay trailer whatsoever. It was just, here's concept arts, a little bit of a site edit, and there. That's it. Like, literally, that's a Square Enix trailer nowadays. They just show a fucking concept art, they show, or show, like, a CG trailer. And bam, get excited for it. Get excited for the idea, not the gameplay itself. I don't know, I was a little bit weird with that. So yeah, the near one, I'm a bit excited, but kind of weary for that. And they, and then what was it? The president of Square, when he went on stage, he was like, you know what? Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts. But instead of Kingdom Hearts 3, it was like, no, we're gonna be talking about the mobile game that nobody in their right mind would even care for, but they're gonna download when the thing's released for free. And that, of course, is Kingdom Hearts Unchained, or in some places that I'm seeing, Kingdom Hearts Unchained Chi, which looks to be like this turn-based, chibi, cutesy art style kind of game. And for what I heard, is kind of canon to the Kingdom Hearts series, so you can't skip this one, like, what was it, Recoded, you can just go on YouTube and watch the fucking, like, final cutscene for that game. Because I'm telling you, that thing was a waste of space on the original DS. So, I don't know, I was a little bit it with Unchained, but, you know, if it's free, I'll download it on the phone and hope to God it actually runs on the iPhone 4 compared to, what was it, Fallout Shelter. And speaking of Kingdom Hearts, they showed, and this is the one thing I wanted to say about it, like, Square Enix, show your games instead of telling them. And when I show the gameplay. And that was the one thing that I loved when they showed Kingdom Hearts 3. They showed gameplay of that shit, and it looks gorgeous. The Unreal Engine 4 powering that game compared to what was the previous games and their engine, it looks real as all hell. Like, literally, Tangled World looks so goddamn like the actual movie itself. And wow, like the summonings and Sora like going in the wall and finding one of the Colossus and what was it, the Hercules world. It really looks goddamn good. And but the deal breaker for me with Kingdom Hearts 3 is like, oh, but it's now in development. It's now in development. It's like, really? Then what the fuck were the previous footage and that kind of shit? It was just some beta trailer. It's like, oh, well, we made this trailer, but we had like other shit like Final Fantasy 15 or the Final Fantasy 7 remake. Well, I should have said that. I was going to save it for the Sony conference. But, yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm definitely excited for that. I'll be waiting for it until, you know, after I finish college, assuming the thing releases at all. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3, presumably on the PS4 and the Xbox One. PC, inevitable, but, you know, just right now, PS4 and Xbox One. And then they showcased Deus Ex Mankind Divide, which they were telling the fucking storyline instead of showing us the gameplay, which they did, but it was very little. But going from what the gameplay trailer itself, it looks to be an improvement out of Human Revolution, a fantastic, what was it, prequel to the Deus Ex games on PC. And yeah, I'm really excited for Mankind Divided, which will, from what I remember at the top of my head, release late 2015 or 2016. I can't wait to play that on the PS4, because they ain't coming on Wii U. Just putting it out there. And they also announced like this new RPG called Project Setuma, which, just like with the Nier Platinum games, Square Enix just likes to fucking show a CGI trailer or talk about a game than actually giving us the gameplay about it. I don't know, with Square Enix, I kind of see 3.1. I mean, even with like Kingdom Hearts 3, Just Cause 3, and Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, most of the shit was just like talking and talking and talking with very little gameplay to show. At least when it came to what I thought, in my opinion, for it. So yeah, the third-party developer conference is out of the way. Let's talk about the console manufacturers conference/presentation, starting with Microsoft. Microsoft's was definitely the best conference they had in a long time, even better than what last year they had. They were showing game after game after game after game, and it wasn't just like third-party games. They were like showing a lot of exclusives or Microsoft Windows exclusives like on PC or the Xbox One, stuff like that. And I do have like a list for this to go by. They first showcased like Halo 5 Guardians, which it looks to be interesting. I haven't played Halo 4, and I'm a little bit waiting for that when the price goes even down in game stuff, so I can fucking buy it on the 360 or inevitably get an Xbox One, which I don't know if I want to set the date, maybe this year or next year, because, you know, with that Master Chief Collection looking so super fly, saying like that. The Halo 5 Guardians looks to be really interesting, and, well, the beta was already done, but, oh, I kind of lost my train of thought for that. So yeah, Halo 5 Guardians looks to be really goddamn fun. Hopefully God is actually good compared to, like, in the past Halo games that I played on the 360. Going by And another exclusive they showed off right off the bat was Keiji Inafune and Comcast's like Recore, which was kind of like taking some of the elements like from Mega Man Legends 3 from what I remember in the interview that Inafune did. It looked really interesting. You have like this female character with this robot dog, which really Inafune can never get away from Mega Man and the influences that that franchise had in his career. And it really looks interesting. I don't know if it's an adventure game or a shooter, but I put that on my Amazon wish list when I get an Xbox One, and I might buy it because I really do like Inafune, and Recore looks to be kind of a breath of fresh air. And Phil Spencer backing the game up with Comcast, it really makes the Xbox division at least diversing its exclusives catalog. That's how I can go for. And they were showcasing. They announced like a news for Fallout 4, where like if you buy Fallout 4 on Xbox One, you can get Fallout 3 for free, which presumably might be the 360 version in a backwards compatibility later down the road. But I'm getting ahead of myself because I want to talk about that a bit. And yeah, and also like having mod support, so like if you made a mod on the PC and you can just transfer that on the Xbox One and just go for it. And from what I heard, they're trying to do that with Sony for the PS4 version, and I hope to God it does, because I really do want to play that shit on the PS4, the mods. Because whenever a Bethesda game is really damn good, the mods enhance the experience. That's just how it goes. And they were showcasing a lot of indie games like Cuphead. Really looks goddamn fun as all hell. Really looks like an old Disney cartoon. And yeah, it's like an Xbox and PC exclusive, just to go for it. And they showcase a trailer for like Rise of the Tomb Raider, and you know it kind of looks like a Tomb Raider game and not just some survival game like the reboot Tomb Raider was like in 2012 or 2013. I think 2012, from what I remember. And it looks to be the kind of game that I wanted compared to what the reboot Tomb Raider was, which I can understand the reboot Tomb Raider being like this kind of origin story for Lara Croft, as we know today as this badass like archaeologist. But yeah, Rise of Tomb Raider looks to be the kind of game that is a Tomb Raider game on my heart. Sucks that it's a timed Xbox One exclusive. Might be waiting for that PS4 version in 2016, maybe. And this is a big bang, at least it comes to my heart as well. When they were talking about Rare, they had like the Rare Replay collection with like over 30 games from Rare's history, and one of the games that were showcased, which is an underrated Rare game on the 360, and that is Cameo Elements of Power on the Xbox 360. That's one of the titles for the Rare Replay collection. And that alone made me want an Xbox One immediately when I saw that, because wow, you have like 30 fantastic games from this wonderful developer. And knowing how Phil Spencer is trying to reestablish Rare, or at least make them unique like they were in the past, because now they have like this new IP, this new game called Sea of Thieves, which is like this online multiplayer pirate game, and it has this same kind of, I don't know, feel to me when it comes to the old Monkey Island game, Adventures of Monkey Island. And it really did make me want to get an Xbox One immediately, and I really don't have enough money on me, but yeah, I really do want to get an Xbox One for the few exclusive it has, and for the Rare games, because knowing how Phil Spencer is actually doing shit and doing something good for the Xbox division, I might just get it, and I might be able to play Cameo in HD. Well, it's already in HD, well, maybe in full HD, not in sub HD. What was it? Yeah, sub HD, 720p. Maybe it's like a 900p for the Xbox One version, or some emulator, just to go by. Oh, and speaking of the emulator, they had like this big announcement, and kind of a jab towards Sony, just like how Sony took a jab to Microsoft like in 2 E3s ago. And that, of course, is the Xbox One having backward compatibility with Xbox 360 games. Now, it's not like some half-ass bullshit like Sony is doing with PS3 games, like you play them in the cloud, and you like rent the damn thing instead of actually buying them. Instead, what Microsoft did is like they made this whole emulation process where they actually replicate the actual Xbox 360 menu when you play an Xbox 360 game in your Xbox One. For example, preview members, as of right now, they have the chance to play a select number of games like Cameo, Elements of Power, and if you have like a retail copy like me, and if I had an Xbox One, for example, I could just open the the thing is in my 360. I was playing that a bit. Yeah, theoretically, like I could take the disc out of Cameo Elements of Power, put it on the Xbox One, and then it will have a download version of that on the Xbox One, and I'll be able to play that. Or if I downloaded it on the the Game Marketplace on the 360, and I connect that same account that I have on the Xbox One, that thing will automatically be there if if I'm a preview member. And knowing how this emulation process is, it'll be kind of the same route how original Xbox games were on the Xbox 360, except now it might run better. Well, not run better, because looking at the Mass Effect example, it might have some of its problems, just like how the original Xbox games were on the 360, like loss of shadows, some stutter frame rate, or like freezing in certain sections of moments. But overall, I'm kind of hopeful that knowing how Microsoft has having this kind of technology, you'll be able to play the old games that you have, or just buy it in GameStop and just slap it on the 360. But it sucks that they can't really do it for every 360 game imaginable, because publishers, they want to have control over their games, and inevitably have the remaster collection to people that buy that shit again. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, the backwards compatibility is really a goddamn nice treat for people who have an Xbox One and haven't really tried a 360 game, or at least can buy one like cheap at GameStop, like Cameo Elements of Power for me. Really goddamn good. And the Elite wireless controller, it looks nice, but $100 for it, it's a little bit pricey, if I can say the least. And the HoloLens, it looked nice in the presentation, but in reality, it was like this little square thing, and it's not really that big. How do I put an example? It's like if you're like sitting in a movie theater, right? Instead of the projection being really big as all hell, it's really goddamn small. And you have like this big fucking like shit attached to your head, and it's like this small. Well, not like a rectangle. It's like sort of like this. Yeah, I mean that's kind of one of the biggest lies that you can ever do at E3, but yeah, HoloLens is kind of disappointing when you go into it. And now the winner, Microsoft's, I would give a 4.5 out of 5. Literally, they showed like a lot of games right out the box. They didn't really talk about that much of Kinect. They didn't really talk about much of, video, sports and stuff like that. Sports was EA this year. You talk about games, and most of it was exclusives. And the biggest one is backwards compatibility compared to what Sony would have, because like no, we're not gonna do the effort in backwards compatibility. You can just rent your shit in the cloud. That kind of nonsense. So yeah, Microsoft 4.5 out of 5. I'll be honest with that. And now going for Sony, the undisputed winner of E3 2015, from how they were like showing off games that people really been requesting for so many years, and even games that really we would never see in the light of day. Bam, they're there. And they showed off The Last Guardian, which I gotta say was fucking, like, everybody on Twitter, Facebook, and everybody was like fucking hype as all hell, like holy shit. That was like a goddamn spectacle, to say the least. Last Guardian looks to be really unique and interesting, like just like what was it, Uda, I think it was Uda, with Shadow of the Colossus and Eco. Really to be goddamn interesting. And also, they showcase another new IP from Guerrilla Games, the studio that pumps out mediocre FPSs with good-ass graphics, the Killzone games. With this new, like, open-world, kind of prehistoric, post-apocalyptic game, from what I get the vibe out of it, and that is, like, Horizon Zero Dawn. You have, like, this female, cave woman, and she has, like, this really futuristic bow, which kind of reminded me of what was Crysis 3. Yeah, Crysis 3. I'm trying to remember from Crysis 2. But yeah, like this futuristic bow and like hunting like these freaking dinosaur, like these Dinobots from Transformers. And the amount of shit, if that shit was actual gameplay running on the PlayStation 4 and not on a goddamn PC, a high-end PC, not a low-tier PC like the PS4. Horizon Zero Dawn might be a really, really unique title on the PlayStation 4 and an exclusive that desperately needs to have on this system because literally it's a third-party machine. Not to say it's bad, but I've been wanting. Where's the exclusives? Where's the damn exclusives for like at least this year? Oh, right. The exclusives this year, or at least the big one from what I came out of my mind, is a freaking Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. Sorry, Sony, I have all 3 games, and it was like less than $20 to get all 3 of them. So you're gonna have to get me more than that, and also not having multiplayer from Uncharted 2 and 3. It's kind of bullshit. That's just me personally for that whole thing. And I'm getting ahead of myself with Uncharted because I do want to talk about that. And they announced like what was it, IDOS, and they announced like the new Hitman game, which to me kind of makes it like a reboot, getting away the whole Diana storyline situation what was in Absolution. I'm hopeful for this one not to be kind of compared to like Absolution was the last game. Yeah, Hitman, optimist for that. And Media Molecule to showcase like this, I'm just calling it right now, this media application like Dreams, being able to like create your own environment, being able to like create this whole scene and mood, and it has this nice style to it. It has a nice style to it, but I don't know if it really, I can count it as a game. Maybe it's Sony's version of Art Academy, but like with 3D clay models and stuff like that. To the next level. So yeah, they were like showing off some games, first party and third party, but then one of the representatives of Square Enix were like, okay guys, you've been requesting this shit so many fucking times, here is Final Fantasy VII, the remake. And holy shit, everyone, even me, was like, whoa, they actually are doing this shit. Like, woo! Going this kind of crap. And even as someone like me who really isn't that much of a big fan of Final Fantasy VII, I say it's a good game, but not better, or at least the top of the echelons as many people proclaim it. But Final Fantasy VII, the fans get what they want, and hope to God it actually delivers, but knowing how Square Enix nowadays is with the Final Fantasy games, and most of the people that are working with this remake worked on Final Fantasy 13, I'm kind of a little bit iffy with the whole shit. But yeah, I hope to God the 7 remake is good, and I hope to God the 7 remake is good as all hell, and that shit is pumped out already so we can get Kingdom Hearts 3, because literally they're freaking pushing this whole that's right with Square Enix. And yeah, another big surprise which actually like got me like absolutely like balls to the wall crying, and literally I was crying about this, was Yu Suzuki coming on stage and saying that Shenmue 3 is a reality if you can fund this. And immediately, like 2 hours later, that shit was fully funded with like $2 million. Like $2 million in 2 hours after that announcement. Currently right now is like halfway to not 4 million, like kind of in the 3,500 kind of, you know what, let me go to the Shenmue Kickstarter right now, just to see how much Shenmue 3. Currently $3,757,096. So yeah, $3,757,096. Yeah, that kind of wrap right now, and it has like 18 days left. So yeah, Shenmue 3 is finally reality. Thank you, Sega, for actually using your fucking brain and giving like the Shenmue 3 rights to Yu Suzuki's development team so they can make the damn thing. And also to the people who are clamoring that Sony is funding the damn thing. No, Sony is not funding the damn thing. They just gave Yu Suzuki a platform in order to announce that Shenmue 3 is reality after getting the rights to make Shenmue 3 with his development team from Sega. Sega still owns the Shenmue rights, it's just that they've given the rights sequels to Yu Suzuki, kind of the same way how Sega gave the rights to Bayonetta 2 to Nintendo. Nintendo owned Bayonetta 2 along with Sega. That kind of route to go by. And yeah, Shenmue 3, I'm really fucking excited for it. I can't wait to play it on the PS4 when it inevitably gets released, like I believe, I'm gonna assume 2017. If it's delayed any further, it's all hell. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. And also, speaking of exclusives, the Naughty Dog showcase like this one section of Uncharted 4 that looks really goddamn beautiful. Like having all these NPCs and the frame rate doesn't stutter as all hell. That's something that Ubisoft needs to sit the fuck down and go with the Naughty Dog devs, because if I'm surprised, like, they had so many NPCs on screen on Uncharted 4, and the frame rate didn't stutter. It's almost like Naughty Dog actually put in the effort in their fucking game, and actually put effort in it, compared to what Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed Unity. No, seriously, they really need to take their notes from Naughty Dog, because, wow, Uncharted 4 looked goddamn good as all hell. I can't wait to play it, and hope to God it doesn't get delayed for, like, the third fucking time to, like, 2017. Release the damn thing in 2016, have that stupid collection with no multiplayer for Uncharted 2 and 3 on PS4, and you got yourself some money, Naughty Dog, and make a new IP, just out there. So yeah, Sony's conference, I definitely would say 5 out of 5. They showcased a lot of shit that people wanted for so many years. They got what they deserve, and also some third-party offerings, and some exclusive showcases, and they really did own E3 2015. So I really gotta collaborate Ubisoft. Ubisoft. Shit, it's really hot as hell in this room. I just need to put that out there. You go, Bob. So now let's go for the whipping boy of E3 2015, as many people proclaim, and that, of course, is Nintendo. Now, before I talk about their underwhelming, disappointing digital event, I want to talk about the stuff that was before it. Sakurai showcased the whole special Super Smash Bros. Presentation, where most of the info was leaked a day before the whole shit was happening by someone on Twitter with the whole coding in the patch, and someone having a Japanese copy hack the damn thing and being able to play as Ryu, Lucas, and Roy, and having like the Ryu and Dreamland stage. For 4 to 5 hours on Twitch on that day. It was like a fucking experience. The chat room was like, it was like autism at its finest, like, ooh, going for it. And now I just trigger someone for saying that shit. Going by it. And also they had like the fantastic Nintendo World Championships, which I had the privilege of being able to go to Nintendo World and watch the whole thing, like from beginning to end in Rockefeller Center, and I gotta say it was hype as all hell. Like, they should have this for an annual shit. Have that same Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles, have an annual event, do that kind of crap, and yeah, it was really goddamn good. And they had a lot of showcase for like, what was it? They showcased like Metroid Blast Ball, which was really fun as all hell until later down the road we realized it was a piece of shit spin-off that doesn't have the soul of Metroid Prime. But I'm really getting ahead of myself with that shit. Whoa. I'm getting ahead of myself when it comes to that. But they really had a nice showcase of Mario Maker and how the levels are really goddamn crazy as all hell. And yeah, Nintendo World Championships, make that annually, and yeah, you'll have some. It was really goddamn good. But anyhow, I really want to talk about the good shit, the one where I can bitch about the most, and that, of course, is Nintendo's digital event. Now, as I have to make a full disclaimer here for people who are going to defend the whole digital thing. You can defend it all you want, you can like it for all you want. I don't have to like it. It was fucking disappointing. And as someone who didn't really have that much expectation when it came to Nintendo's digital event, and I was just joking, like, oh, maybe we could have a new F-Zero on Twitter, like, after Sony's event, because people were like, oh, Nintendo isn't going to really deliver the goods and stuff like that. But really, as, what was it, like how Dewey puts it in Malcolm in the Middle, I didn't have much expectation, but yet you still disappointed me. That kind of, it's kind of how my thoughts are with Nintendo's digital event. But yeah, they started out really good and funny as all hell. They had, like, what was that, the Muppet Studio make these kind of puppet versions of Reggie, Iwata, and Miyamoto, and they were like going in and out and in and out. It was really goddamn funny as all hell. Then they showcased with this whole segment of Star Fox Zero, and as someone like me who had the privilege of playing Star Fox Zero twice in Nintendo World, and even had a collaborative pin for the whole event, and being able to play the second time. Woo! Going for this kind of crap. Star Fox Zero is really goddamn fun. It's kind of like it is a reimagining of Star Fox 64, just like how 64 was a reimagining of Star Fox 1 and 2. And it really is goddamn fun, even with some bland textures, as people put it. It looked nice in HD. I'm just gonna say it right there. Star Fox Zero looked good. And then everything else went downhill with a little bit of an up in the road, but it was mostly bumpy. And that, of course, is the Skylanders cross Amiibo collaboration with Activision. Being able to have, like, the turbocharged Mario and the Hammer Bowser. I mean, it looks fun as all hell as someone who likes Donkey Kong and bought his first Amiibo with Donkey Kong itself. I really am not going to be buying that Skylander or supercharged whatnot for $80 just for like the Donkey Kong Amiibo. It's a little bit of, yeah, I'm not buying $80 for a fucking Amiibo. I'm just putting it right there. I'll maybe pay 40 or 50 for the scalpers in eBay, but nah, I'm not paying for that shit either. Fucking. So yeah, after the whole collaborative bullshit, which might have been what the Canadian Nintendo developers Nintendo employee say that, oh, you'll have like more third-party collaborations in this year's E3. Yeah, like there wasn't even that much. Maybe the biggest one was the fucking Skylanders cross Amiibo toys, whatever. But they did showcase a new Zelda game, and it's not footage of Zelda U. You know, people are fucking requesting for it, and now like Reggie being, oh, but we're showcasing games that are going to be releasing this year. Even though you fucking announced games before that was later down the road. Like, I need to calm down. I need to calm the fuck down when it comes to Reggie. So anyhow, they had like Zelda news. And all of it was on the 3DS, because fuck the Wii U. That's how I got the impression. The first was The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, a kind of game that is akin to Four Swords Adventures, but instead of having 4 people, you have 3, reducing the purple Link to the wayside with like red, green, and blue Links, teaming up together in order to like go through dungeons. And as someone who had the privilege of playing Triforce Heroes at least 3 to 2 times in Nintendo World, you really do have to have teamwork to be able to get through the game and the dungeon and actually defeat the bosses. Like, the totem pole mechanic actually is vital to the game and being able to go through the kind of stuff. So, yeah, it really is fun as all hell, but I wouldn't pay full price for it, to be honest. Unless, of course, I had a bunch of friends and we played it all the time, that would be something, but I really don't have that much people to have like around me unless it's online, but just go for it. Speaking of Zelda, they show a port, or a demake as I like to put it, Hyrule Warriors Legends for the 3DS, having all the DLC from the Wii U version in one package, with also like the Wind Waker characters like Tetra, and from what I saw, the king of Hyrule in Wind Waker, what I remember. And some other shit that they're going to announce later down the road, but were people really clamoring for Hyrule Warriors on the go? Especially how much is going to be much of a demake compared to the Wii U version, but that's just me. Who knows, maybe I'll buy it when it's cheap as all hell and get all the DLC for those people who paid that much money for it to go buy it. And also, okay, after that, it really, fucking, like, it started a firestorm. They announced a new Metroid game, but it's not a Metroid game on the Wii U, it's not a 2D Metroid game for the 3DS, nope, it's a first-person, co-op shooter, squad-based game from what I get the impression of the gameplay. And that, of course, is Metroid Prime Federation Force, a game where instead of being Samus and other Samuses, like in, what was it, Metroid Prime 2's multiplayer, which kind of was the idea that spawned from that multiplayer mode, you're instead like Federation troops, or troop federators from what I remember the group in Metroid. You're basically exploring planets and going through the, you know, missions with your buddies online or on the go. And yeah, just going through shit, and I can't go. I'll continue with this little shit. It's not fucking Metroid. Literally, it looks like a new IP It looks like a new IP that Nintendo made, but then they knew after, what was it, Codename Steam not selling any good in North America, Japan, or Europe, they're like, you know what, fuck it. Let's slap a series that people have been clamoring for, like, all the damn time. And of course, they slapped the Metroid Prime specifically, the Metroid Prime name to the game, and it really is not Metroid. I don't get the impression at all from the whole thing. And really, I wouldn't even have much problem for Federation Force if it was, one, a new IP, or a spin-off game that was released after a mainline Metroid game on the Wii U or the 3DS. But no, Reggie's like, we know people have been requesting like the main Metroid games, but fuck you, we're going to release the spin-off first, and we're going to have that one presumably on the NX. Because fuck it, the only Metroid you're going to get is the old ones on the Virtual Console and Samus' Smash Brothers for Wii U. It's really like... I mean, as someone who's not really much of a fan, like a big fan of the Metroid series, you really slap Metroid Prime's name on it for a squad-based shooter. It's kind of a little bit off to me. So yeah, they showcase a lot of Fire Emblem info, Fire Emblem Phase, the trailer, and Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, or as many call it, the Weeaboo RPG that the Wii U has been needing for so goddamn long. And as someone who, I'm sorry, I have Metroid Prime Federation Force still in my head. It's just a go by. But yeah, Fire Emblem Fates looks really goddamn good as all hell. It looks to improve what Fire Emblem Awakening is. I definitely need to get Fire Emblem Awakenings down the road, because Fates presumably might be released in 2016, knowing how this turn-based RPG gets translated a year later after the Japanese release, which kind of released right now in Japan. So yeah, if you have a Japanese 3DS, go for it. Just to go for it. Whew, another burp. It's really hot as hell in here. But yeah, Fire Emblem Fates looks fun as all hell, and Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem looks to be an RPG along with Xenoblade Chronicles X that I'm definitely looking forward to on the Wii U, because really isn't that much released for the system as of right now. And yeah, after like, what was it, a 30-second trailer of Xenoblade Chronicles X, we then have two back-to-back announcements of Animal Crossing games that the Animal Crossing fan base is fucking divided over, just like with Metroid. And that, of course, is a home-decorated 3DS game where you can like decorate your whole house. Yeah, decorate your own house and invite people over and stuff like that. Really, I kind of find that like a dumbed-down version of Animal Crossing. At least Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS, and instead of just like being active and engaged out of it, it's like, okay, we're gonna strip this down into decorating your own home and stuff like that. Let's just waste our resources for like a main Animal Crossing game on Wii U and just have it there. Just fucking. But hey, we have an Animal Crossing on the Wii U, but it ain't a fucking mainline Animal Crossing game. It's a fucking amiibo party game. Like, we don't have many fucking party games on the Wii U. Like Nintendo Land, Wii Party U, Mario Party 10. Let's have fucking Animal Crossing in and slap the whole shit, because we know people are gonna fucking buy the Animal Crossing amiibos and scout that shit on eBay and Amazon. People will fucking buy it over it and just slap it together. And let's just get ahead of... I'm sorry. I mean, as someone who is really addicted as of right now with Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS, and was hoping to play it in glorious HD on the Wii U, and not some fucking party game where it's a free-to-start game, and you can't really play the game unless you have a freaking amiibo of it, but knowing how amiibos are fucking scarce, how you gonna start the game unless the shit, like, sold out, like, in 5 hours or so. You know what, let's skip the whole shit. Let's just skip it. After Animal Crossing 3DS and Wii U, the disappointing one, we then have another fucking segment of Yoshi's Woolly World, a game that we already had a segment about in the last E3 digital event. Like, really, they really don't have much Wii U games to showcase if they have another segment for a game that is already complete as it is. And as someone who's played the game in Nintendo World, it's complete. It's fun as all hell, it has the cute art style, and the amiibos do add to the cuteness to it. Like, the Kirby Yoshi looks really goddamn cute, and the Mario stash coming into Yoshi, it really looks fun as all hell. But really, I did not need another fucking segment of Yoshi's Wally World. And yes, I say Wowie World, because I wanted to be funny. But yeah, Woolly World, we don't need any more info on that. And really, why the fuck do Wii U owners have to wait until, what was it, October for the game? If Europeans have that fucking thing right now with the Yarn Amiibo. Literally, Nintendo, get your shit together with that. And yeah, they showcase some 3DS games, like one of Pokemon Ghost Edition, Yokai Watch. And then they showcase and then after Yokai Watch, it was just more Mario. We have Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, a collaborative game for the Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario sub-series together for this one game. Looks really goddamn fun. I'm a fan of the Mario and Luigi games, and really love the 3DS edition of the game, of this one of the installments. Kind of lost the train of thought. It's really fucking hot in here. And yeah, they showcase Mario Tennis, Ultra Smash, which really looks fun as all hell. Kind of unnecessary, but, you know, Mario Tennis is really fun with people that you know, and I hope to God it has online multiplayer. It better fucking have online multiplayer on Nintendo. Because, you know, we're not going to have voice chat for it. No one has before. And then they had an entire segment of Mario Maker. Like, we didn't have a fucking segment of that in the Nintendo World Championships. A presentation that actually enhanced Mario Maker to people, and I actually pre-ordered the damn thing after the Nintendo World Championships. Like, this is the one that I got from Nintendo World with the collector's edition pins and stuff like that. And also, what was it? These 3 pins, like the 30th anniversary of Mario, like one of them, 2 of them, and 3 of them. Like, Super Mario Maker looks fun as all hell, and it really is damn good, but I did not need to see more fucking Mario Maker. We already had that in Nintendo World Championships, and I don't know, it kind of feels like they're stroking the ego of Mario so much. I mean, yeah, it's his 30th anniversary, but really Mario Maker, Paper Jam, and Tennis kind of feels a little bit weak for a 30th anniversary. I don't know, maybe if they had all those 3 with a mainline 3D Mario game, that would be good, but they're having that shit for the NX, just like with most of their games developed when it comes to this E3. With very little surprises, very little to show, and really is underwhelming and disappointing. I have to say Nintendo's digital event is a that's kind of a little bit. Okay, a 2.5, like 2.75 out of 5. I've been generous with the 7.5 because really, I don't know, Nintendo really disappointed me out of something I really wasn't that much hyped for to begin with. I know Star Fox Zero will hold me for this year, but everything else, this and Mario Maker, it will hold me. But yeah, outside of the digital event and the not much surprise Smash Bros. Presentation, Nintendo they kind of just spread their announcements too thin when it came to this E3. It just feels like it's like the swan song for the Wii U. Like, next year they're really gonna focus on the NX, and we're just gonna have Zelda U for the Wii U, and that's about it. After that, it's like just indies and third parties and some other spin-offs digital from Nintendo. So yeah, 50 minutes, like almost an hour as hell, and that's my thoughts. I'm gonna take a shower.